Look at that goodness. Watch this. Just so tender. I mean, that is what you want right there. Hey everyone, it's Ryan here with Gilbert Fireplaces and BBQs, and boy do we have a good one for you today. If you're familiar with barbecue at all, you've probably had some burnt ends at some point or another. Now those burnt ends were probably made using the point of a brisket. Well, today we're gonna make some burnt ends using a pork belly, and I'm telling you, it's gonna knock your socks off. Let's get going. All right, so today we're gonna be cooking on the YS640 Yoder pellet smoker. We're gonna be using a lumberjack fruit wood blend. It's an apple cherry blend, which is absolutely delicious on pork. We have our smoker already set up here to 250 degrees. It's gonna be a nice, good temp. We're gonna cube up our pork belly, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do next. All right, pork belly burnt ends. So we have our pork belly right here. This is something that you could pick up, from Costco, Sam's Club, your local butcher. Most of those places are gonna have this pork belly. This one here is about roughly 8 pounds or so. Now the first step on something like this is to cube them up. So if you're familiar with the burnt ends, they're real nice cubes of just delicious meat candy, and that's what we're gonna make today. The pork belly, having such a high fat content is really going to just render down, give you just a delicious, real supple and nice bite. So first thing we're gonna do is cube these. So what you do is you just cut down here. We're gonna cut them into strips. Now the one thing to keep in mind is that with all the fat on this pork belly, it's gonna really reduce the size of your burnt ends. So don't be afraid to cut it a little bit bigger cubes than you ordinarily would think. All right, so now that we've kind of sliced it down, now you're gonna wanna slice it the other way, about the same thickness to create your cube. We're gonna cube these up, and then once these are all cubed up, we're gonna throw our seasoning on these. Now, cutting these is a lot easier when the pork belly is cold. So this is something you're gonna wanna do pretty much as soon as you take it out of the fridge. But we're still doing all right on these. These are cutting up real nice. These are gonna be delicious. All right, so now that we have this pork belly cubed up here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna season it. So today I'm gonna rock with the John Henry's Texas-sized pecan rub. This stuff's amazing. It's got some nuttiness, some smokiness, some sweetness, pairs incredibly well with pork. So we're gonna use that, but before we do that, I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil on these as a binder here before we put our seasoning on. Mix this up a little bit here. So now, have our John Henry's here. Just wanna season all sides of this pretty well. I like to hold the seasoning up about 10 to 12 inches or so above. Gets a nice even distribution on the meat. Put in a little bit of legwork up front. You're gonna get some awesome results by the time these are done. All right, so these are seasoned up to perfection. So we got our Yoder Smokers YS640 pellet grill set to 250 degrees. So now what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna leave the burnt ends on this rack here and put the whole rack on the smoker, because it's gonna be a lot easier just to take them all off at once. So I'm gonna place these right here on the top rack. So we're gonna put this rack right there on the top rack of the smoker. Let these ride for about 3 hours or so. We're gonna let them really take up some smoke and build up some flavor, a little bit of bark on them. And then we're gonna take them off, and I'll show you what we're gonna do next. We're gonna amp it up a little bit, but we'll check back in 3 hours. Okay, so these burnt ends have been on for about 3 hours now. It's smelling absolutely delicious out here. It's incredible. Sun has shifted, had to throw the shades on. It's getting a little bit later in the day, but we're not done. In fact, we're on to step 2 of the cooking process. So let's check these things out here. I'll show you how they look. I mean, look at that. That is outstanding right there. So they're looking amazing. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take these off. I'm gonna wrap them in foil. We're gonna add some goodies, and we're gonna braise them so that they tenderize a little bit more. I have some brown sugar, I have some honey, I have a little bit of apple juice. We're gonna make our braising liquid. We're gonna wrap these up, put them back on for about an hour and a half so that they can kind of tenderize further. All right, so we're gonna start with our brown sugar here. We're just gonna drizzle some of that over. It's gonna give us a little bit more bark and color to this. A little bit more sweetness. And then we're gonna take our honey. We're gonna drizzle that all the way through. This is gonna make these burnt ends really shine. It's gonna be really nice. Put that on there. Now we're gonna add a little bit of apple juice. This is our liquid. These are gonna be braising, so it's going to break down some of that fat, render it down, make these extremely tender. Really excited about how these are gonna turn out. And then we just kind of mix it all together. Oh yeah, then we're gonna mix these all together here. Oh my goodness, it smells so good, guys. I mean, honestly, we could probably eat them now and they'd be delicious, but just wait. These are really gonna be kicked up an extra notch here. I'm going full emerald on you. These are gonna be absolutely delightful. So that's nice and mixed up. So now what I'm gonna do, cover them up with foil, put them back on the smoker for an hour and a half, then we'll check in. These look absolutely delightful. All right, back on we go. So this is gonna sit here, hour and a half longer. We're gonna come back, we're gonna throw some sauce on it, throw it back on the smoker one more time. And I promise you, it's gonna be some of the best barbecue you ever have in your life. Hang tight. All right, an hour and a half is down, which means we are on the last step of these burnt ends here. Guys, it's smelling absolutely incredible. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these off. Now I want you to see these. These are gonna be absolutely incredible looking here. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's take this foil off. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how tender these are. Literally falling apart, but we're not done. I know you think we're done, but we're not done. We are on the third and final step to bring these to the next level. It's gonna be your favorite barbecue treat when we're done here. So what we're gonna do, let's drain this excess liquid. I got a little cup here. So there goes all of our braising solution right there. Now the reason we're doing this is because we got some barbecue sauce that we're gonna put on these and we want that all to tack up. All right, so liquid's gone. We have honey bourbon barbecue sauce from Miss Q Premium Sauces. Stuff's incredible, so here's what we're gonna do. And that's probably good there. You don't wanna put too much on, you wanna just put enough in to coat it. All right, so I'm gonna get in here. We're gonna mix these up. Make sure that all sides are covered with a good coating of that delicious honey bourbon barbecue sauce. Oh, that smell is just incredible. Oh, I wanna dig into these right now. But this is the third and final part, and this is the best part here. So what I'm gonna do now, we're going back on the smoker. I know, we've been off and on, but this is gonna be worth it, all right? I'm gonna take this, we're gonna put these back on uncovered for about 30 minutes or so. We want this to tack up, kind of darken up a little bit, and then it's finally ready to eat. All right, so it's been a little over a half an hour since we threw our burnt ends back on uncovered. Let's see what they look like. Oh yeah, these babies are done. Let's dig in. Pork belly burnt ends. 5 hours of time we put into these. They look and smell absolutely incredible. We did the 3-step process here. Look at how good these turned out. I mean, if that's not a beautiful sight, I don't know what is. My goodness. Serve this up at your next party and watch yourself become the new most popular guy in the friend group. I mean, how incredible looking is that? Guys, we put in the time on this. We smoked them for 3 hours on the smoker. We wrapped them up. We braised them in our apple juice, our honey, our brown sugar. We threw them back on, threw our sauce on, got them to tack up. Guys, let me show you something here. Look at that. Look at that goodness. Watch this. Just falling apart. Just so, so tender. I mean, that is what you want right there. I gotta try this. Been smelling this all day. That's unbelievable. That's as good as it gets right there, guys. If you want a nice treat to wow your guests, good barbecue, pork belly burnt ends is where it's at. I think we did a good job. These pork belly burnt ends are absolutely fantastic. The Yoder Smoker did what it does best, smoked these to absolute perfection. I love them. They're gonna be a big hit at your party. We hope you guys like this recipe. If you did like it, hit that like button, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for more barbecue tips and tricks. This is Ryan with Gilbert Fireplaces and BBQs. We're indoor comfort. Meets outdoor entertaining.